Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I am absolutely delighted to present to you one of India's most enchanting and enthralling flutists. At the age of 11, he first encountered a flute or a bansuri, and when he put his lips to it, he breathed life into it and he became one with it. Since then, our Titan has traveled and traversed a journey which is most enchanting and most amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Agni Titans Rendezvous and to our Titan this evening. Sameer Rao, Sameer Rao, Sameer Rao. What an amazing artist you are. Welcome to the Agni Titans Rendezvous. Sameer ji, the whole world knows about you. So, if at all I ask you any questions today, it will make no sense unless it is an open discussion and a conversation.
Yeah.
One of the most fascinating things that is known about you is that you started your entire emotional inclusivity with the Basuri at age 11. And since then, you have taken a amazing. Do tell us about this journey, please.
Right from the beginning, I have been kind of an introvert. I never liked all these outdoor games and stuff like that. So the kids around me were always they were on the streets, they were on the fields. So while finding something, I don't even remember what I was looking for, but I found a straight flute, which which is which was there at my place, and I don't know where it came. Also, even my parents didn't know. So I started, kind of playing with it, and the knack kind of came naturally to me, and I started playing some self-taught tunes like Sare Jahan Se Acha and Indian National Anthem and some things like that. So, and then my father, he likes Indian classical musical art. Like, I mean, if he's at home, we used to have this gramophone records.
Yes, yes, yes,
Starting from
yes,
Pettamal, M.S. Subbulakshmi, Balmurali Krishnaji,
yes.
uh, Ravi Shankar ji, Ustad Vilayat Khan. I mean, you name it, and it was a good mixture of Indian classical music, Carnatic. We had a lot of Beethoven, Bach also.
Yes.
So he used to listen to that very frequently. So I think that is where I got my interest in music. So after finding this flute, I just started playing with it. And then when my father noticed that I have some talent in making a good sound in that instrument, he took me to a music school. That is when I met Pandit Hirematji in
Okay.
Tirupati. So, and when I started learning, I didn't know that there were two systems. You know, like I didn't know whether what was I getting into, whether it's a
Okay.
Carnatic.
Okay.
So and it was Hindustani, and I have liked it.
Yes. So it means that you had no idea at that very tender age what was it really the technicalities of the entire Bansuri world, so to speak. But your passion was there, and therefore you moved on. But tell us something, Samir ji. How did our maestro Hari Prasad Chaurasa discover you?
Uh, like for every flautist, whether they admit it or not, because Panditji, is the one who kind of made Banchari a household name. I mean,
Yes.
Pannalal Ghosh started, brought it to the classical scene
Yes.
before it was an instrument and a folk instrument. So Pandit Pannalal Ghoshji started playing Hindustani classical concerts on that, and my Guruji, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasiya ji, he made it a household name. And for all of us, uh, there is nothing that you can do without he being involved in some or the other way. Like when it
Okay.
he has influenced, he has played with jazz musicians, he has established his own style of playing in Hindustani classical music, the raga
Yes.
present.
Yes.
He has played with fusion music. He has done everything. There is nothing that So I mean, what I mean to say is he's everywhere and he's inspiring everyone. So for every flautist, every flute student, actually learning student, it's a dream for to learn from Panditji, to
Yes. Yes.
meet him, to at
Yes.
least
Yes.
just touch his feet and get his blessings.
Yes.
So, and I grew up listening to him. Another thing which I would like to mention is that Pandit Hirematji is a vocalist. He's also accomplished harmonium player, but
Ah.
he's a wonderful vocalist. But he knew where to which position gives you sa on bansuri and which position gives you pa on bansuri, but he
Okay.
didn't play
Okay.
flute.
Okay.
So most of it was trial and error for me in the
Mhm.
initial days. Like he showed me this is sa, this is re, this is ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, but
Right.
he never played the instrument.
Right.
So he used to sing and I used to imitate him. I used to follow him to play the same thing on my instrument, which is Mansuri.
Right.
So uh, so it was all trial and error, and I used to listen to a lot of Panditji's recordings. Those
Right.
days there used to be cassettes and CDs were
Yes.
just coming, you know,
Yes.
and most of us were not able to afford a CD player because it used to be a pleasurable thing.
Yes. 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 I
So
remember. Yes.
yeah, so I used to listen to a lot of Panditji's cassettes, and that's how I could figure out so many things that these kind of things are possible on the instrument.
Yes.
So when Panditji was coming to Mangalore for a concert,
Ah.
so me, my Guruji, Pandit Hirematji, and my father went to Mangalore, and we met him and we told him that I want to learn from you. So he said, if you can make arrangements to stay in Mumbai, come over. So that was my interview about getting accepted as a disciple. Before that, there is a friend of Guruji who used to be local guardian for Guruji's sons when they were studying in Mysore.
Right, right.
Lakshminarayan Babu.
Mm-hmm.
So he had spoken to Guruji about me and had told him that there is a boy who's very anxiously wanting to learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
Guruji has told him that I'll see him first. If I feel okay, then I will take him. So I guess he felt okay.
That would be very fascinating.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I just consider myself so lucky that I got an opportunity which most of us don't get.
Yes, yes. In fact, Sameerji, I didn't know much about basuris and flutes till 1981, when I happened to discover someone named Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia. Since that day, I have romanced with every note that he's played on the basuri. And there are very, very few shows across the country I've missed whenever he's performed live. And I had this, and I know what you say when you finally just meet him. I mean, his aura is so powerful. I had this great opportunity 20 years later when I organized Bangalore Habba in working with a team in my organization, in the organization I was working for. We organized the Bangalore Habba and we invited him to play at the Bangalore Palace grounds. That is the first time my entire knowing him, virtually speaking, not physically, I was able to touch his feet. And there is an aura in this man. There is something about him that just takes you away from everything around you. And then when he started performing, I was so blessed that I was there with him that evening. So I can well understand your feeling. But tell me something, Sameerji, and I wanted to ask this question of you. I believe Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia ji still has that old traditional Gurukul system of teaching in an ashram.
Yes,
and
yes.
I think this is something that I would love to hear about. I mean, we would all love to hear about this because it is a system that is slowly becoming obsolete. So please tell us, I believe you also spent a few years in this ashram. And what was the experience like?
I went to Mumbai in 2002, and 2 years I spent here and there, living in other places and attending the classes, Guruji's classes. But in 2004, the Gurukul started. By that time, Guruji had shifted from his house to Gurukul.
Right.
So I mean, again, I consider myself very fortunate that he considered me to, let me live at the Gurukul.
Yes.
So it's I mean, I consider that as a golden period of my time with him. And of course, I traveled with him a couple of places. I played a couple of concerts with him. All that is there. But being in Gurukul with him, he is living with you 24/7. The living legend is living with you 24/7.
Yes.
Something. So it's 24/7. It's music. Like there is no time limit that you can practice. Like you have to practice from 6 to 10, or any particular time for practicing. You can play at any time you like, and you can play as much as you like. And and the thing is, he's whether he is eating or whether he is walking or whether he is just sitting, he's listening to you all the time. So he knows what you're up to, what you're playing. And one fine day, I mean, I was playing some gat in composition in Rag Yaman. So I played for a couple of hours or something like that. Then I climbed down. And then Guruji was eating his lunch. Then he told me that keep the sum on Ga, not on me. So that's when I came to know that whether if I'm practicing in my room also, he is listening to me. So that personal attention about what you are up to, what are you practicing, is your health okay, is everyone safe at your house, your parents, everything he used to take care. I mean, in the it's like, if I'm given a chance, I would like to be in Gurukul all my life with Guruji.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
But Samirji, coming back to you, all those who have seen you perform um, find you one of the most astonishing performers with the Bansuri. And not only that, what they also, some those who are very regular watching you and are also very close friends of mine, have been saying that there is a wonderful touch of innovation in almost every new composition of yours. How have you brought this into being now?
This is not something that I have brought, but what I feel is it's something. The seed has been bought by Guruji. You know,
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
I mean, our upbringing in music is in such a way that, of course, Yaman has a framework. Any
Yes.
raga, to that matter,
Yes.
has a framework. You know
Yes.
what you can do, what you cannot do. But in that, what you can do scenario, you can go on experimenting. You can go on pushing the boundaries. So
Right.
you don't have to start at the, if you're playing a composition in teen tal, you don't have to actually start every composition from the ninth beat or the khali, that what we call it as. You can experiment, and Guruji always told us that you have to play like you, don't try to play like me, because
Right.
whatever I had to do, I've
Keeping
already
things
done.
original to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he also kind of paid a lot of attention to your own self development as a musician.
Yes.
So I mean, being an imitation of someone is maybe good to some extent, but
Yes.
having the capabilities to create your own, which you can very proudly say that this is mine, that is something which Guruji has taught not only me but all his students.
I think what you just said, Sameer ji, is something very, very critical and very important for any budding artist, be a professional, be he in any field. Because unless and until we don't become our own form in what we do, we will
Exactly.
never really reach that level of finesse that you have reached today. And
No, I have not reached any semester. I still
Sameer,
have a
your,
long
your,
way to
your,
go.
your humbleness has always touched everybody's hearts. You always come
No,
across very
I'm just telling you
modestly,
the
even in your on your stage performances, which is something that gets noted very easily. But there has been quite a lot of concern by the young generation who are also trying to get into your shoes. So there are many who are waiting in line behind you, where they feel that our country, which has been invaded by a lot of Western music, whether they'll ever be able to battle that, because let us face it, that India is not the same India which was 50 years ago. I mean, today there's a very strong Western influence, and traditional forms of art, whether it be music, painting, whatever have you, literally struggle to remain alive within the same country unless they have an opportunity like you to go to Sydney, Germany, Vietnam, all of the world, Singapore. Then, of course, there is some chance, but then to get to that level is another journey all in itself. But there have always been major concerns amongst the youth, and quite demotivating for them when they come across the Western music forms and realize that somewhere they are under major competition. What do you feel about this?
See, first of all, what I feel is there is no competition.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, the competition only starts when I want you to listen to a particular thing. If I like classical music, I should listen to classical music. And
Right.
classical music, if you are expecting it to be popular as pop music or rock music or any other thing, it will not be. It's like coffee. It's acquired taste. You need to have a
Right.
taste to enjoy it. You
Right.
need to have a particular receptiveness to try to understand what's happening there.
Right.
So I don't think there is any kind of competition. But having said that, I would like to add that now there is social media.
Yes.
Now there are a lot of opportunities for
Yes.
young musicians.
Yes. Yes.
I think they should make use of very wisely.
Yes. Yes. In fact,
Now,
Samirji, when they came up to me with this fear they had, I said, today the social media has broken away all boundaries, melted all the boundaries around us. There are no boundaries now. It is you can today reach any part of the world with what you are doing. So you're very right about that. But Samirji, I'd like you to throw a little focus, on how can we, with our experience and with our, real life experiences, uh, inspire the young generation who are really genuinely involved, interested, and would love to be deeply involved with our traditional forms of art and music. How do we inspire them to eventually believe that they can be successful, because there are a lot of successful players in this field also? How would you like to inspire them?
I think it's happening on its own. Now they can consider music as a profession. Now they have that option
Right,
also. I mean,
right,
a couple of years back, when I decided that I want to take music as my profession, there were many eyebrows raised. Like, how will you live? Oh, you play flute, very nice, but how will you earn?
yes,
This
yes,
kind of thing.
yes,
But I was fortunate enough to have a father like he supported me, and
yes,
he knew that, and ultimately, Anandji, it's like, if you do your work and if you put 100%
yes,
with awareness,
yes,
without awareness nothing will work. I mean, it'll be mechanical, it will not be musical.
yes,
uh, if you put 100% of your awareness and yourself into it and
yes,
do your hard, it will definitely work. I mean, it
yes,
might take a little time, maybe a few years extra, but it will definitely
yes.
work.
Oh, definitely, because I
That is
think what
my
you're saying is very right, Savirji. There are no quick fixes towards success. There's a lot of
exactly.
labor involved. There's a lot of practice involved, and there's a lot of resilience involved. I think resilience is the right word, because unless we're not resilient and have a lot of faith in ourselves, I don't think we can get anywhere in life. And I think you are a perfect
Exactly.
example, Samiti, of resilience and what from where you have started and where you have reached. My last question to you, Samiti, before we say goodbye to each other and to everyone, all our viewers, if you wanted to have lived a different life, what would you have chosen? Would it still be the Basuri, or would it be something else?
I think it'll still be Bansuri, at least for a couple of lifetimes now. Because yeah, I mean, music is such a subject. I mean, as I was mentioning, our upbringing our upbringing is something like, what you play today,
Yes,
you should not be repeated tomorrow. So that constant search for something
yes,
new,
yes,
and exactly, you know most of the time, it's like whatever comes to your mind should come in your fingers. that
yes,
is that is my interpretation, is that, that is why maybe our ancestors in music, kind of practiced for hours together. Now the trend is, like, you don't have to practice for 16 hours a day.
right,
I also have tried a couple of times. I have
yes,
practiced for 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, and all that.
yes,
But if you have awareness and practice for 4 hours a day, then it's more than enough. I mean, your ideas of music comes from, it's kind of a mixture of three things: your talim, what you learn,
right,
what you practice, your
right,
riyaz,
right,
and your thinking.
right.
You have to think about music. I mean, you cannot be mechanically playing Nirigamadhanisa, Sanidapamagarisa, Nirigamadhanisa, Sanidapamagarisa all your life.
Yes.
So you have to think.
Yes.
So that thinking with awareness will give you a lot of. It will open many doors to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Samir Ji. It was amazing having you on our Agni Titan rendezvous. And Samir Ji, thank you so much for all the advice to all our viewers, especially the younger ones who are, like I said, going to become your future competitors because they're all waiting to get into your shoes. But I'm sure, and I hope and pray to God that one day they do, if at all they realize that they must have Samir Rao patience and perseverance. If they have that, I'm sure they will be amazing. So thank you so much, Samir Ji. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank
you so much. Thank you so much, our viewers, for being part of our Agni Titans rendezvous. And before we leave, before Samir Ji and I say goodbye, here's a little recital tailor-made just for your pleasure. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.